you guys ever felt like you're not enough because you're comparing yourself to others? And today I want to go ahead and talk about why this happens and how to overcome it. Welcome. I'm glad you're here. I'm very excited about today's topic because we're going to be talking about identity. Um, but first of all, tell me where you're listening and watching from. I just got back from Kentucky, and so I am in Tennessee for a few weeks, and I am going to be soaking up every minute that I can to spend time with my family and my little grandson. He is 4 months old, and they grow so fast at this stage, so I don't want to miss any of it. But yeah, so diving in, today's topic, identity is one of my favorite things to talk about. And last week, I talked to you and shared with you a little bit about my story and how I even got on this journey from going and living small to now living my big life. And, I want to help you do the same. We live in a world full of comparison, full of confusion, and it's really easy to feel lost and inadequate when measuring up ourselves against all of the other people in this world who are fantastic and doing wonderful jobs at living their big life too. So, in this episode, we're going to go ahead and explore how to discover your unique identity and why comparison is your worst enemy. And by the end of this session that we have today, you'll have all that you need to help you embrace your true identity and your true self and go ahead and stop that cycle of comparison and live to your fullest. So this live stream is for anyone who ever feels overwhelmed and feels discontent about comparison with each other, and they feel that constant drive. Anyone who's struggling with the imposter syndrome. I know that several people, we all deal with that. And whoever wants to build just a stronger sense of self, purpose, and worth, you are all going to get a lot out of today. So make sure to stay tuned to the very end because I have a super exciting exercise that I'm going to provide for you that's going to help you discover that unique identity. And even if you know what your identity is, it's going to help you dig a little bit deeper. So don't forget to share your thoughts and your experiences in the comments because I truly love hearing back from all of you guys. I'm here to help you. I want you to be able to look in the mirror and love the woman that you see. And so your comments help me to cater the content for you. So starting out, we're going to go ahead and go over what it is to understand your true identity. One of the most important things about identity is to remember your identity is like a fingerprint. It's completely unique to you. No one else has the same identity as you. And for many of us, we fall into this trap of comparing ourselves to others. And this only leads to feelings of inadequacy and that imposter syndrome that we all really hate to have. And so I wonder if you've ever found yourself just thinking, like, why can't I be more like them? Or why am I not good enough? Or why am I too much? Right? And this constant comparison, it can make us feel lost, unfulfilled, as if we're just trying to live someone else's life instead of our own. And it's exhausting. I don't know if you've done that or been there. Most of us, I believe, have, but it will wear you out. And so even highly successful people struggle with this. So this is not a struggle that you can avoid. You are not exempt from it. And even people like Oprah Winfrey have dedicated a lot of the time of their life just talking about the embracing and importance of taking your own path and trying not to mimic everyone else in society. So just know that you're not alone. This is not something to feel shameful about. And in each season of our lives, I think we all kind of deal with a different area where we might compare ourselves to other people. It might look a little different. So for me, it's like in high school, I compared my grades to other people. I compared my looks. I compared what colleges everyone was getting into. And I believe, if I were to be honest with myself, one of the worst seasons of comparison for me happened when I was parenting my twins in our home. I was a stay-at-home mom. We lived in a wealthy county here in Tennessee, but we weren't a wealthy family. We had plenty and all that we needed, but we just weren't considered wealthy. And so I'm sure you can imagine all of the torture that I put myself through, telling myself I'm doing a great job, but also comparing myself to the other kids' parents, because my kids were friends and had best friends with people and children whose parents were movie stars and music artists here in Nashville, like big names. I'm not going to say share them, but you know, I compared myself to them, and I had to constantly, like, I had this mantra that I shared with myself just to kind of keep myself in the head game of trying not to compare myself before I had learned all these really great tools I'm going to teach you today. But I had to say to myself, like, God knew what my girls would need, so he chose me to be their mother, right? But I would be lying if I said that I wasn't affected by the comparison that I was setting myself up for constantly. So much of what I tried to emulate wasn't even possible. I filtered my success as a parent to those around me. Like, yet those families, they have an even higher level of success and wealth that is not really attainable to most people, unless if they are willing to go out and do what those people did to get there. And so I did feel like a failure when I tried to fit into that world. So I want you to know this is the angle I'm coming from when I talk to you about this today. So why do we think we need to be like someone else to be successful or even happy? I mean, it's actually time for us to challenge this mindset, because um, we just need to understand that our unique qualities are what sets us apart, which truly makes us successful, and what makes us special and happy. Recognizing and embracing those things, those unique qualities, it's very essential to what we're going to talk about today. Your identity is your special key and fingerprint to unlocking the doors meant for you. So right here, I've got my phone. And most of these have like a fingerprint unlock button, right? And it identifies whose phone this is. Well, if I were to try to use my friend's fingerprint to unlock my phone, it's not going to work. Why? Because it's not their phone. It's not their life, right? And so that's kind of what I want to put into you today, is that you need to use your abilities and your qualities and your identity to live out the big life that you are meant to live. So before I move on to the next segment, I just want to recap the really important parts that we just discussed, because moving into this next section, you'll need to have this kind of locked in. But your identity, it's a fingerprint like no other. It's one of a kind. So your identity is the same. So comparison, it's going to be a thief of your joy. It will distract you from your own path. You won't even be able to take your own path if you are comparing yourself. So focus on what makes you unique. That's where you hold value and worth. Okay. And so I do challenge you to reflect on these unique strengths instead of your weaknesses, because I'm not telling you to be ignorant of these weaknesses. They do exist, right? Like, and it's not a weakness because you're bad at it. It's a weakness because you just haven't instilled the time, energy, or have the footprint for it. But lean into your strengths. That's what makes you stand out. Your weaknesses are just a point to your need for community and connection, right? If you have an area that you need help with, it's just a wonderful bridge and pathway to meet new people who that's their strength. And so I am going to talk more about that later, in especially in next week's topic. But while I'm talking about going ahead and just reflecting on these unique strengths, I just want to remind you that each episode has a workbook. And so go into the Facebook group under the files section, download that workbook, and dive in deep to just these reflective times, because you're going to get a lot out of this. I'm essentially walking you through the very exact way that I was able to walk out of being small into my big life. So definitely, if you know some of these unique qualities that you carry, these things that make you unique in your identity, go ahead and throw it in the comments below, because I love listening and seeing what everybody says. That's the thing that's going to make you unique, and I'm really excited to see it and celebrate it with you. Okay, so coming up in this next segment, we're going to dive into this exciting exercise. and it is fabulous. It's going to help you discover your true identity, and it feels like Christmas for me, and I cannot wait to watch you open up this gift. Okay, so I'm super excited. Friends in my life, they know that I am terrible at keeping what I bought you for Christmas or your birthday a secret. I'm really good at keeping secrets that are important, but when it comes to gifts, I just can't stand the excitement. So this is how this next segment feels like for me. But we're going to dive into finding your true identity. So what if the key to understanding your true identity was as simple as identifying what the world needs most? And I'm going to explain that, right? So many people, we struggle to identify our core traits, our values, because they don't, you just don't have time to reflect on what truly matters to you. And so instead of getting caught up in trying to fit into these predefined roles and expectations that the world has on us, I want to help you be able to take the time to dial this in, because not being able to dial this in, it can leave you feeling very disconnected from your true self, your identity, constantly searching for external validation. It's like wandering through life without a clear sense of direction, and it's horrible. You're just getting lost all the time. That's one of the worst feelings ever for me. Jonathan loves getting lost just because he wants to find out where it is. I hate getting lost. It makes me cry. So, but I do want to give you an example of some people, just so that you know where we're trying to head, okay? But I want you to think about people like Nelson Mandela, Mother Teresa. They don't try to emulate others. And instead, they're just focusing on what they believe in, what they think the world needs the most, and let that be their guide towards their actions and decisions. It's their filter for living life. And so that's what I mean by discovering what your identity is through what the world needs the most. So, but I will say your foundation of discovering your personal identity does come through faith. You have something that runs core to the deep of who you are, designed by your maker. And so just know that your faith is a foundation here. But a lot of us, what we're going to think is our identity is founded in our purpose or our calling, or what a personality test says, or our instinct test, or our Enneagram, or whatever it is. But I'm telling you right now, it is foundational upon your faith. And we'll get more into that in other episodes, but I just want to leave you with this question. And why I'm even saying that, because it's like, why do we look outside of ourselves for answers on who we are? Right? There's only one person on this planet who knows us better than us, and it's our maker. So when we're going out here and looking everywhere else to identify who we are, you're just never going to get anywhere. And so we need to shift our focus back inward, and that's where we're going to discover our true identity, by understanding what resonates deeply within us. And I'm sure you've heard people ask this before, but what makes you cry? What makes you angry? Those are the things that are going to be the red flags, the signals to tell you what resonates deeply within you. And I'm about to share this powerful exercise to help you discover that. So I want you to imagine that you could give the world anything. And this could be a character trait, it can be an adjective, anything that you feel like humanity needs most. Think about what they need most right now. Is it kindness? Is it resilience? Is it creativity? But I want to be clear, avoid focusing on what's happening right now with political issues or current events. I want you to look for just more like fundamental human traits and values. What is it that if you could gift them one gift, what would it be? And I want you to create a list, and I want you to create maybe up to 12 of these items, and I want you to order them in order of importance to you. which one resonates to the core, the deepest, to the one that you're like, yeah, I still would give this as a gift. It feels pretty strong, but it's not that core one, right? By doing this exercise, you're going to uncover traits that resonate with you so deeply on that deep core level that these are your core aspects of your identity. They are your filter for life. So let me share with you some of mine. I'll share like 5 or 6 or 7, okay? Love, joy, authenticity, wholeness, beauty, strength, and vitality. Those are my core words. That's the filter and the identity I live from. So everything I do in my life filters through those words. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. So those are the gifts I want to give the world. Share in the comments below if you already know one of these words because you have spent a little bit of time discovering these things. I'd love to see these unique gifts. And the gift that you bring to this world. Only you can bring and give these gifts, right? And uh, it's just important to know that because here's the thing. Comparison, it's dangerous. It's an enemy, you know, and when we can focus on the things that we are, we don't have to focus anymore on the things that we aren't. So that's what we're going to talk about in this next segment. You know, have you ever wondered why comparison makes you feel like a failure? You know, it's because you're measuring yourself against the wrong standard. And what if celebrating those people instead of comparing yourself with them could actually help you become the best version of yourself? You know, and I want to go deep onto that. And here's why. Many of us, we fall into a trap of constantly comparing ourselves to others. And then whether it's through social media, coworkers, people in our personal life, friends, family, you know, this comparison, it can lead to feelings of inadequacy, jealousy, shame, resentment. And I think it's about time that when you go through social media or you talk to that coworker or the family or friend, you know, that you looked at them and you saw them as someone who's doing a really fabulous thing. They're achieving something that they've always wanted. And it's maybe something you've always wanted to as well, right? And instead of, you know, feeling resentful or upset, feel happy for them. You know, let that jealousy die away because here's the thing, you know, when you're questioning your self-worth like that, and that is a common feeling for us to feel, you know, but it's very damaging. But when you can take what they're doing and they're achieving, and if it's something that you want to do or achieve, you actually can build community with them and celebrate them and go, hey, you know what, I actually want to do that too. Do you mind sharing what it is that you did to get yourself there? You know, you can pull on their strength, which is your current weakness, and you can make it become a strength. But you can't do it without those people. You can't do this stuff alone. It's exhausting if you try. Believe me, been there. And I'm sure you have too in many ways, you know. But we have so many people who have been on this pathway before us, like Brene Brown. She's constantly talking about comparison and how, you know, how it's the thief of joy and that it can distract us from our own path, our own desires, our own successes, our own life, you know, and I've been through many, many times. I mean, I explained to you the jealousy and the stress that I lived under as a parent. It made me miss out on really wonderful moments with my kids because I was worried about, you know, them having the name brand thing that I couldn't provide for them at that time, you know. So I lived in shame, and so then I couldn't make eye contact when I wanted to. I had a hard time just hugging them and loving them and being with them in the moment and laughing and having a great time because I felt shame, you know. And I don't know why we think that comparing ourselves is somehow going to make us feel better because it's not, you know. And it is time for us to challenge that mindset and understand that celebrating those people actually opens the door for us to go face to face, learn from them, celebrate them, and them in reverse. They can look at you because there's no threat between you, that they can celebrate you. They can support you. They can share those secrets with you because you're not really trying to compete. You're just trying to get to the same end result, you know? And we can actually grow together. When the water rises, it rises for all of us when we operate under this new mindset. It makes a bigger, stronger community. And when you're in a community like that, it's like no other. It's amazing. And so again, instead of comparing ourselves to others, focus on that personal growth. Take it inwards, take it upwards, right? And celebrate those achievements of those around you. Celebrate your own achievements as well, right? Like we've gotten into a place in society that we feel like if we want to say something positive about what's happening in our life, that it's going to make someone feel bad. You know what? That's on them. Celebrate your good times, the times that you found breakthrough, that you are living your big audacious life, the life you're meant to live, right? And share it with others generously. Like that is an important part. And here's one last thing to just talk about that. I know you guys have heard the saying, the jack of all trades, master of none. If we're out there trying to be everyone and everything and achieve all the things, be successful at all of it, we can't stand out because we're master of none. And this is what I want to tell you. Get out there, become master of one. Stand out for that thing, lean into your strengths and become even stronger in that one thing. You know what's going to happen then? People will flock to you to learn from you, to even pay you to know that thing, right? So let other people fill in the other parts of the areas that you are not super strong in. Let the shame go for not being strong in that area and be super intentional about the one key strength that you have. So here's the key points here. Acknowledge the harm of comparison. It's not going to help you. It never has. It will only bring you grief. Okay. It distracts you from where you're trying to go. It's a big obstacle. So let it go. Right. Celebrate others. Recognize them for their strengths. Recognize you for your strengths. Be just as kind to yourself here. Shift that mindset from jealousy to inspiration. You can get really close to people when you're inspired to them, but inspired by them. And then focus on that personal growth. Concentrate on your unique path, your fingerprint. What doors will your fingerprint and identity unlock? And make progress in that area. And I'd even dare to say, keep a journal to track the progress, because chances are that very thing, that the door that you unlock is the very thing that you're meant to be on this earth to help others unlock as well. So if you can track what you've done, then you can go around and teach them how to do the same. Okay. So I do challenge you, take someone in your life that you maybe have felt a little bit jealous from, or you have compared yourself, and try your best to celebrate them this week. Leave them a comment on their Facebook page. Just do anything that is at least one step forward for yourself, but lean into what you can learn from their journey. Okay. All right. So today we talked about understanding your unique identity, the dangers of comparison, and the power of celebrating others, and how to find out your identity and who you are. It's unique to you. It's your fingerprint. It's your key. So comparing yourself to others, taking their key and trying to unlock your door, it's only going to lead to being locked out and fully frustrated. It's only going to leave you feeling inadequate, like you're doing it wrong, that you're a failure. And guess what? You're not. You're just measuring yourself against the wrong standard. So embrace your unique strengths, celebrate yourself, and go out there and live a more fulfilling life. I encourage you to go to the Facebook group, Download the workbook to unlock these insights, dig deeper, find your identity, and apply them in your daily life. While you're in the Facebook group, go in there and share your reflections and experiences. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to have you guys cheer each other on. So if you get in there and you say, I'm gumption, or I'm, vitality, or I'm this or that, just throw out your words and we can go, yes, I can see that. I can see where that's going to lead you, right? In our next live stream, we're going to dive deeper on this topic into how to take those words, build your self confidence from them, and live authentically with them. Because practicing can get a little awkward at first when you've been using someone else's key for a long time. And so you don't want to miss it. Mark your calendars. Wednesday at 1:30 Central Standard Time in the Facebook group is where the live stream happens. If you need to catch it on replay, you can catch the replay in the Facebook group, go to YouTube a week later, or go to any podcast platform a week later. But if you did find today's episode helpful, please share it with a friend who might benefit from it too. This literally changed my life. And I really want to help you and your friends and your community change their life too. You may be having the same friend come to you over and over with the same problem, and maybe this is the first step. So if it helped you, go please leave a review, subscribe so you don't miss the future episodes connected to this, and because it does help me reach more women, and that's my goal. I want to reach as many women as I can so that they can get out there doing the thing that they're meant to do, and we all get to grow with each other. And so get it out there to people who can benefit. Thank you so much for joining me today. Your participation and your engagement and your encouragement, they really mean the world to me. I love it when you reach out to me and comment through text or email or whatever. Let's go ahead and continue this journey together, because we can't do this alone. And I want all of us to be our best version of ourselves. So until next time, stay true to yourself, celebrate others, keep striving for your personal best. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next week.